Jesse Jackson was an African. We lay claim to him because he was an African. Pledging his solidarity with our struggle did make him one of us, an African American, ours, not only yours. He epitomized the image that was depicted by one of the key founders of the African National Congress, Pixley Kaisa Kaseme, who delivered a most famous speech in 1906 here in the United States when he was a student at Columbia University. And he said, "I am an African, and I set my pride in my race against a hostile public opinion. The brighter day is rising upon Africa. Already I seem to see her chains dissolved." That speech captured the spirit of African pride and hope. That is what Jesse Jackson meant to South Africa and Africa. Hence we stand here and say he belonged to us. Jesse Jackson stood with the people of South Africa during our darkest days and hours against apartheid. He told the world that the struggle for dignity in the United States was inseparable from the fight against apartheid and injustice in South Africa. When Jesse Jackson reminded the United States that its strength as a nation lies not in exclusion, but in the beautiful diversity of its people, black and white, rich and poor, urban and rural, workers and farmers, immigrants and the forgotten, we were hugely inspired by his message. Nelson Mandela and his comrades were hugely inspired too by Jesse Jackson whilst they were serving life sentences on Robben Island, as they observed how Jesse Jackson carried out our struggle for justice beyond the borders of the United States. He was a voice that refused to be silenced when silence would have been easier. A voice that preached a message of hope from the streets of Chicago to the dusty streets of Gugulethu in Cape Town in South Africa. That justice was not a privilege for the few, but a birthright for all. His rallying call, "Keep hope alive," became a compass of our struggle and gave us hope for victory over the evil system of apartheid, exclusion, division, and oppression. Jesse Jackson expressed his solidarity with us when he visited for the first time South Africa and came to Soweto 47 years ago after the killing of Steve Biko in apartheid police cells. He drew massive crowds at rallies in Soweto, where he famously declared, as though he was a prophet, and indeed he was. He said, "This land is changing hands." When the Reagan administration chose constructive engagement, diplomatic language for doing nothing, Jesse Jackson chose unconditional solidarity with the oppressed majority in South Africa. He became the most visible American public figure advocating for comprehensive pressure and economic sanctions against apartheid South Africa. By placing South Africa at the center of American electoral politics during his presidential election campaign, Jesse Jackson influenced millions of voters to confront apartheid as their moral responsibility too. He led many marches here in the United States, and in 1985 was arrested with his two sons, Jesse Jr. and Jonathan, outside the South African embassy. They were arrested, and as they were arrested, they sang the song which Stevie Wonder rendered here, "We Shall Overcome." It was a song that became part of our struggle freedom songs, from which we drew inspiration. He took the fight against apartheid globally. On the 2nd of November, 1985, he marched with the ANC President Oliver Tambo, anti-apartheid movement President Trevor Huddleston, and more than 150,000 people in what was one of the largest anti-apartheid demonstrations ever held in Britain. Not only did he march in the streets, he walked into the corridors of power. He opened doors, and when the doors were closed, he kicked them down. He personally lobbied international leaders. He lobbied Pope John Paul II to visit South Africa and hasten change. He pressed Mikhail Gorbachev to cut all Soviet diplomatic ties with Pretoria. He challenged Margaret Thatcher to her face. She refused to budge, but he did not stop. When Nelson Mandela finally walked free in 1990, after 27 years of imprisonment, Jesse Jackson was there in Cape Town, witnessing a moment the world would never forget. He described the atmosphere as a release of glee and joy, as millions celebrated not only the freedom of a man, but the rising hope of a nation, the South African nation. In 1994, he was present when Nelson Mandela became the first democratically elected president of South Africa. Jesse Jackson kept returning after 1994, when many of his contemporaries moved on. We claim Jesse Jackson as one of our own because he never saw the struggle of the people of South Africa as a distant or foreign cause, but as a struggle that belonged to him as well. His greatest gift to the oppressed people of South Africa was the courage he gave us to believe that we must never surrender hope, that justice would prevail and freedom would come. He encouraged us not to lose hope in the face of oppression, not to lose hope in the face of injustice, to have hope that ordinary people standing together would write their own history of triumph against apartheid. The life of Reverend Jesse Jackson reminds us that the struggle for justice is never the work of a single lifetime. It is a long and noble journey that is carried forward across generations. In fact, it is a relay in which the torch of freedom is passed from one generation to another. Martin Luther King Jr. lifted that torch and gave the world a dream of justice and equality.